In a world full of changes, we'll bring you good news. We'll bring you God's love on Rig Radio. Come sang Rig Radio, Rig Radio, Rig Radio, Speaking to the world, fulfill your expectation. We bring you inspiration. At Rig Radio, at Rig Radio, at Rig Radio. We Radio, transforming life globally.
On something which I titled, Be Careful What You Call Impossible. Be careful what you call impossible. You know, ever since a human being is born into this world, a human being is born with several limitations. And these limitations in the environment are a way of clogging the mindset of the human being, making them to feel that some things are not possible for them. For instance, when a child comes into the world, one of the first limitations that the child have is the limitation of food. You know, it is not all the time that the child wants to eat that the food is readily available. But some of the time, the mother comes with the food after the child has cried. And because of those limitations, the human being feels naturally that some things are impossible. But I came today to let you know that no matter the limitations that you might be going through, anything is possible if only you can believe. You know, because of these limitations that we are born with from our childhood, many people want to go into business and then they believe that it is not possible. Several people want to go into a particular line of business and then they tell themselves that nobody has done this line of business before, and then because of that they seemingly stop in their track, and because they stop, a lot of things that they could have achieved, they are unable to achieve those things. It reminds me of the story of two brothers that I read recently. The name of the brothers are Orville and Wilbur. Now, Orville and Wilbur, they came up with an idea. They said that, okay, we have an idea, and this is what we want to do. We want to invent a machine that will be able to fly in the air. And we want this machine not only to fly in the air, this machine would also be able to carry human passengers. And then everybody were like, wow, what are you guys saying? You guys have gone crazy. Even their father did not believe in their idea. The father was like, he said, something must be wrong with my children. Some of their relatives decided that the best thing they could do to them was to take them to the psychiatrist. But today we all celebrate the aeroplane, the aircraft. And this is as a result of the invention of the Wright brothers, Orville Wright and Wilbur Wright. So I want you to understand, you might have certain great ideas, certain great visions, and it may seem as if it is impossible. But I want you to understand that those things are possible if only you can remain persistent. The story of another person I would love to share with you is that of Henry Ford. We all know Henry Ford as the guy that invented and came up with the V8 machine. D8 motor vehicle. Now, when Henry Ford actually decided that he was going to come up with this invention, he told his workers on his staff, he said, I want us to be able to work on a 8-cylinder machine that will be able to carry people. And then the worker said that, wow, sir, it is not possible. And he said, it must be possible. You must do something about it. And then they kept trying and 6 months later, nothing was happening. A year later, but he told them, if you must remain on this staff, you must get it done. And guess what? Eventually, it became possible. I don't know those things that you are looking at, that these things are impossible. No matter what it is that you think are impossible, someone has done it before. So go ahead. That business that is in your mind, that I want to start this business, go ahead and start that business. Whatever it is, it might be, someone out there might be listening to me and you have this idea to write a book. Why not go ahead and start it today? That was the same way I started. I decided that I was going to write a book that will impact the world, that will impact my world. And today, I thank God, I've been able to write 3 books. You might also have an idea that, okay, I want to finish with a first class. That was the same thing that happened to me. I had that idea then, and today it has become what? A success. So whatever idea you have, you might say, okay, but these things are not possible in Nigeria. The guys you mentioned, the Wright brothers and Henry Ford, they were foreigners. But let me mention cases of Nigerians that it happened to. Once upon a time, a particular Nigerian, in this same Nigeria, he decided that, okay, I want to build the largest church auditorium in the world. And today, everybody is celebrating celebrating David Oyedepo of Canaan land. Now, because he was able to conceive the idea in his mind, he was able to bring it to reality. And it is in the Guinness Book of World Record that was the largest church auditorium in the world is in Nigeria. So whether you like him or you don't like him, it is still on record. Now you might say, okay, David Oyedepo is a very rich man, he's a pastor, so let me share my own personal story with you. I have some few testimonies about some of the things that have happened in my life. And the reason why I'm sharing this thing with you is to make you understand that if it could happen to me, it can also happen to you. If only you believe. Be careful what you call impossible. As an undergraduate here in University of Lagos back then, one day I was at the multipurpose hall, and as I stood at the multipurpose hall, I saw the vice chancellor shaking the hands of some students and telling them that they had finished with the first class, and because they had finished with the first class, they were going to get an award of 50,000. And I stood up that day and I told myself, I said, about this time next year, I'm coming back to get my own portion of it. And guess what? The next year, I was back to collect my own. The next year again, I was back, and eventually on the 20th of January 2009, I was convocating as a student in this school. And as I was convocating that day, what I said 4 years earlier, it became a reality. So what are the visions that you have in your mind today? Those visions will definitely become a reality. I'll also share another thing that happened to me. It was in the year 2007. I remember I set a very crazy idea, a crazy goal. It seemed to me very, very crazy. I said, before the end of this year, I want to own my own land. Oh my goodness. I was just a student. I was not working. There was nowhere money was coming from. And I just told myself that this is my goal for this year. And guess what? Nothing seemed to be happening. But towards September that same year, I was able to get some scholarship grant that I never even thought about. And as the scholarship grant came, I made the part payment forward my own first piece of land. And guess what? Gradually, before I finished as an undergraduate, I became a landowner. Now, you might be listening to me and you have the idea that you want to build your own house in Lagos and whatever. I want to let you know that what these things are possible. I have tried some of these principles I'm sharing with you, and it has worked for me. And so because it has worked for me, it can also work for you also. I'll just share with you 7 things that you can do in order to be able to achieve what your purpose, in order to be able to achieve these visions that I'm talking about. The first thing is that you must have a clear and definite vision of a desirable future. What are the things you want to see? You must be clear about it. These are the things I want to do. You must be very, very clear about it. For me then, my clear vision was that I want to finish with a first class. That was the vision I had. And as I had that clear vision, it was easy, because it becomes easy for you when you know what you want. For instance, someone may say, I just want to be rich. What does it mean to be rich? What is your target? Is it that I want to be rich, I want to become a millionaire? Is it that I want to become a thousandaire? Is it that I want to have 5 naira? If you have 5 naira, you could consider yourself as rich. You must have a clear and definite vision. The question I have for you now is that, what can you see? You need to be able to see with the eyes of your spirit. Then the second thing is that you must believe the vision. Now, it is not enough for you to see something in the future. You must also believe it. And when you believe it, there are certain things you must do. You must be able to say it consistently, even when everyone around you does not believe it. Sometimes when you say something, some people around you may even think you are crazy. That was what happened to the Wright brothers. They said they wanted to invent the aircraft. And when they said they wanted to invent the aircraft, what did people say? People said that these guys have gone crazy. Oh my God. And then but because they continue to say it, today we all are celebrating aircraft. If you have never entered an aircraft before, I believe you've seen one. In fact, if you look outside your window now, you'll probably see one flying over your window. And it is because some guys were able to sit down to think of what they wanted to do, and they believed consistently in what they wanted to do. Another thing you need to do is you need to read a book. I usually tell people that it appears that the reading culture is gradually declining, but there is just one book that separates you from the fulfillment of your purpose. There's a particular book you need to read. When you begin to read, you discover that naturally you will be able to find the information that you need in order to move on in life. Read the biographies of people that have gone in the direction that you want to that you are planning to move into. For instance, you said that, okay, I want to go into business. There's that line of business that you want to go into. Someone has done it before and he has been successful in it. Why not get the person's biography and begin to read it? As you begin to read the person's biography, naturally you'll be able to find the pitfall that the person fell into, the mistake the person made, and you will not make the same mistake. So read books. I challenge you today, before the end of this week, buy a book that is in line with your purpose, and as you buy that book, read it consistently, and naturally success will be yours.
In a world full of changes, we'll bring you good news. We'll bring you God's love on Rig Radio. Come sing Rig Radio, Rig Radio, Rig Radio. Thinking to the world, fulfill your expectation. We bring you inspiration. I Rig Radio, I Rig Radio, I Rig Radio. Rig Radio, transforming life globally.
The first thing I'm going to mention, which is very, very important and vital for you, is networking. Networking is very, very vital. Even God, when He wanted to create man, God had been creating and making all the things that He could make in the 6 days. And on the sixth day, when He wanted to create man, man was the apex of His creation. He could have just decided to speak man into existence. But what did God do? He said, let us make man in our image. That is, God decided to network. So if God could decide to network, I believe that you also need to network. There is just one person that you may probably need to meet that will push you to the next level in life. Go ahead. Immediately after you hear this message, I want you to go ahead, pick up your phone and call those people that can move you closer to the fulfillment of your destiny. You will definitely need them. The fifth thing I will mention is emotional management. You need to be able to manage your emotion. Why should you continue to harbor some tenants in your heart over time, again and again, when they are not paying any rent? They are not paying you rent, so why should you continue to keep them in your heart? Someone might have offended you many years ago. Forget it, leave them alone, let them go. I tell people that the greatest form of revenge you can have for anybody is success. When you are successful, naturally you discover that what you will be able to move on to the next level, and the people that laughed at you, they will come back to come and laugh with you. So manage your emotion. Stop harboring hatred towards people, because if you continue to harbor hatred, you will find it difficult to fulfill your purpose, to get into the direction that God wants you to get in. Then the sixth thing which I want to talk about is the fact that you need to commit the vision to God. It is important. I must say that there is nothing you can do except you commit it to God. You know, I believe passionately that without God, there is nothing that you can ever do. The Bible says that except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. So commit your vision to God, and He is the one that can help you to bring it to come to pass. And then finally, which is the most important step I'm going to talk about, is take action. Now, you might have listened to what I've been saying. Say, this guy is a very great speaker. He's talking well. I enjoy what he's saying. But you need to take action. If you do not take action, then everything that I've said this morning would have been a waste. So take action. What are those things that you should do? Maybe you need to pick up your phone now and call somebody that can move you to the next level. Pick up the phone and call it. There may be somebody listening to me. There's a business you are supposed to have started. You should have started this business 2 years ago, but you keep procrastinating and telling yourself, I will start tomorrow, and tomorrow has still not come for 2 years. What are you waiting for? Today is the day you should take action. Go ahead and start that business. And as you start that business, you'll be surprised. With God on your side, things will begin to work out for you. So take action. Whatever it needs to move on to the next level is what you should do. On a daily basis, you need to take conscious effort, conscious step to move on to the fulfillment of your destiny. And as you do so, naturally everything will begin to work out for you. And I pray for you that every vision of yours that have been lying dormant for many years, today they will receive life and they will begin to move forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You just heard Perfect Olawale, and I must say, even I am very much inspired right now. I'd like to thank you very, very, very much for those very motivating words. However, if you don't mind, could you just go over the 7 lines of action once again, very briefly? Number one?
The 7 things, I said number 1 is that you must have a clear and definite vision.
Okay, how a definite vision. And number 2?
Vision. Number 2, you must believe in the vision.
All right, believe in the vision. All right.
Number 3, read a book.
Number 3, read a book.
Read a book. And number 4, networking.
Okay. And number 5?
Number 5, manage your emotion.
Number 6.
Number 6, commit the vision to God.
And number 7,
take action.
All right, there you have it. Have a definite vision, believe in that vision. Read a book, network, manage your emotions, commit the vision to God, and don't forget, very important, take action as well. However, I do have a few questions for you regarding all that you said. No doubt some of these things, all of these things are actually very true. And all too often, sometimes we know these things, but the issue is getting around to actually taking action, as you put it at number 7. Now, you started by saying, at some point you said, once you have a clear vision, it becomes easy for you to achieve these things. However, how easy really is it for a person to achieve a vision? Many people have visions and they put in some effort to try to make these things happen, but there are challenges here and there. Things don't work, particularly in a society like ours, where basic amenities aren't even basic. Infrastructure is almost completely non-existent. Now, in cases like that, what does a person do, and how easy really is it for a person to achieve their vision?
Okay, the truth of the matter is that we live in a country where some of the basic amenities that we should have are not available. But for as long as we continue to point accusing fingers at the government and at the leaders, we will not move forward. That's the truth. We need to get to the point where we take responsibility for ourselves. When you take responsibility for yourself and you achieve success, I tell you, it's just a matter of time. The government of the nation, they would have to come and seek you. They will come and look for you to say, please, we need help. We need you to help us, because they've seen you naturally achieve success for yourself. So, talking about your question now, about the fact that some people have a definite vision that this is what they want, and then they take some steps. Now, the truth of the matter is that it is not one way fit it all. There are so many, but that's why I mentioned 7 principles, and I must confess that it goes beyond even these 7 principles. But I believe strongly that if you can truly commit it to God, that's about the most important point there. Committing it to God. When you commit it to God, it takes the grace of God. Sometimes the reason why people have a vision and then they do not achieve it is probably because they think that they can achieve it by their own self. It is not by power, it is not by might, but it takes the grace of God to be able to achieve all of these things. Everyone that have achieved success have their secret, and most of them will tell you that their secret is God. So with God, you can achieve anything. If you look at in time past, anyone that ever achieved any great thing, they will tell you that it was God that was doing all these things. You know, in the Bible, I was sharing with someone earlier today. I said Mary in the Bible, she said she became pregnant as a result of the fact that the Spirit of God came upon her. That was something that had never happened before. Now, those things that you have in mind and you think that, okay, that has never happened before, just be careful what you call impossible. It can actually happen. If only you can believe. Just follow these principles. I tell you, these things have worked for me, and it can work for you also. Principles does not respect persons, neither does it respect location. Just practice the principles, it will work for you.
All right, thank you very much once again. And you just heard once more time from Perfect Lawal inspiring us this morning. And I would also like to congratulate you on your successes as well. You definitely are a role model for many young persons around these days. I will wish you even bigger successes as well.
In a world full of changes, we'll bring you good news. We'll bring you God's love at Rig Radio. Come sing Rig Radio, Rig Radio, Rig Radio. Speaking to the world, fulfill your expectation. We'll bring you inspiration at Rig Radio, at Rig Radio, at Rig Radio. Rig Radio, transforming life globally.
Amen. All right, we also